Today we're testing the Fairline Squadron 53. To do that, we've brought it from Ocean Village in Southampton here to Cowes on the Isle of Wight. Now the Squadron 53, based on the Targa 53 sports cruiser, but it's the first boat with major input from design consultant Alberto Mancini. This one has got the Volvo Penta 725 horsepower D11s and a big spec on it, including the tender you can see in front of me and a Seakeeper gyro. Comes in at just over £1 million before tax. Let's see what she's like out on the water. So we're just slowly heading out of Cowes now. Good time to talk about this upper helm here. In general, ergonomically, it's spot on. I really like the driving position where you have the wheel nice and close, as are the throttles. Don't have to lean forward to use them, despite the fact that there's no adjustment on the chair, which is a little bit of a shame. You can get nice and comfortable. The navigator's on the correct side to be able to get in and out easily. They've got the chart plotter right in front of them, though it is close enough for the skipper to use it without there being too much of a stretch. One bugbear is the fact that there isn't a windscreen or even a wind deflector fitted. It does get quite blustery up here. It wouldn't be too much trouble for Fairline to fit a wind deflector either on the dash or on the front part of the Flybridge itself. But as I said, everything else pretty good. Stylish looking helm, works really nicely. So this boat has got the larger of the two Volvo engine options. There is an 850 horsepower Caterpillar option, though Fairline hasn't fitted that to a Targa or a Squadron yet. But these 725s from Volvo are a nice match for the boat. Top speed today with a very full load. You've got full fuel, water, full holding tanks, dinghy on board, Seakeeper, still managing 32 knots. Perfectly good performance for a boat of this type. And the handling is really enjoyable. Now I sort of expected that. I've tested the Targa 53, that's a really sweet handling boat, and really nothing is different on this. In fact, from up here it's a bit more exciting. You're higher up, it's got a lovely bit of lean when you chuck it into a corner. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it does put a smile on your face. It's great fun to drive, lovely and agile, very planted, and you find that up to about 2000 RPM, and then suddenly the torque comes in and you start really rolling along, 25 knots now. It's not very choppy today, it has to be said, but any chop we have come across, any wake, the boat's handled with aplomb. Really well sorted hull and drivetrain on the Squadron 53. Down here, it's a classic Fairline helm. It looks great, really nice materials, nice soft touch material here. You've got the contrasting sort of aluminium effect. Looks great, clear, analog dials in front of you. Of course, you've got your chart plotter to starboard. Now they have dropped down the seat on this boat. This is the boat that was at Dusseldorf, and they've dropped down the seat so you're not sitting quite so high, which was a bit of an issue previously. Now the view out is really, really clear, though I have found I need about half tab down here for me to have the best view forward and just keep the bow down a little bit. They're also going to make a change to this mullion here. As you can probably see at the moment, this is quite thick. You lose quite a bit here in a blind spot. They are going to shrink that down so it's not quite as intrusive. What I really like is this hatch overhead. Now, it doesn't move, it's not a sunroof, it's just some glass, but it really brightens up this area, makes it feel nice and airy, doesn't feel like you're enclosed at a lower helm at all. So Fairline has opted to put bench seating down the starboard side of the cockpit. It means that you don't have totally clear access into the cockpit from the starboard side, but you do have a great big access walkway on the port side that leads up onto the port side deck. It means that it's plentiful seating out here, really sociable, and you have storage underneath that bench as well. Other things to note are the lighting. Really nice strip lighting here, leads you through into the saloon, which has got the same style, and this is a detail that I think we're going to start to see cropping up all over the place. They've managed to inset lighting to the treads of the steps, and while we look at them, let's go up to the Flybridge. When you see the boat from the outside, you can't help but notice how far back this top deck stretches, and you really feel that when you're up here. This is a massive seating space for a boat of this size, with a great big teak table at its centre. Of course, you have a wet bar too. Now, there is going to be a hardtop option for this boat eventually. At the moment, you've got your more standard bimini, though it's got nice touches like LED lighting set within the rails themselves, and there's more living space to enjoy on deck up on the foredeck. Any 50-footer worth its salt has to have a foredeck seating area these days. The Squadron 53 doesn't disappoint. I really like the fact that you have this central walkway with teak, feels really classy. Of course, you have the little table here from Bezzanzoni. That does fold away, so it's not in your eye line when you're driving. And there's also a canopy here that can be erected using 4 poles, and then you have a piece of canopy that covers the entire area. It's great to see the quality touches back on a Fairline. They've worked really hard to up the quality, and it's worked. Just look at the sheen and the lacquering on this walnut woodwork. Lovely dark flooring and a really nice mix of textures and materials as well. You've got leather panelling on the front of the cupboards here, bit of stainless steel, quilted leather over by the helm. It looks and feels really classy. And there's also a huge amount of different layout options too. You can have galley up aft, galley up forward, galley down like this boat, 3 cabins, 4 cabins, massive choice, so you can really make your mark on the boat. And the final thing to notice in the saloon is the sheer size of these massive windows. So this particular boat has got the more traditional galley down layout. If you don't mind the galley being tucked down here, it does mean you get a great big kitchen area, good amount of worktop, twin sinks, plenty of storage, full-size fridge freezer here as well. And then in terms of cabins on this particular model, you have the VIP forward, which has got scissor action berths and its own ensuite. Then you have a twin guest cabin to port, and then of course the master cabin, which is full beam, which we'll have a bit of a closer look at. Okay, so here in the master cabin, the 53 sports cruiser came in for quite a lot of flack because of the headroom or lack of it over the bed. I'm pleased to say that in the Squadron model they have managed to improve that. I'm 6'1", can pretty much stand upright, a little bit stooped, but far better than the sports cruiser version. It means that you can very comfortably get in and out of bed. It's also going back to the quality feel and the use of materials. It feels absolutely top notch down here. Really nice mix again of materials and colours, surfaces, finishes. It feels like they've put so much hard work in to make this space look and feel good. So we're just heading up the Yachting back towards Ocean Village. We've had a good day on board the Squadron 53. It's impressed that it hasn't been rough out there. It's a shame we really couldn't put the hull through the ringer, but it's performed very nicely in terms of performance. Now, 2 things stand out for me on this boat. It's the feeling of quality. Fairline seems to have really got that back. Really important that they did. Fairline Yachts is this new iteration. It needs to feel like a quality product, and it does. And then there's the amount of choice you have on board this boat. 4 cabins, 3 cabins, 2 galley up locations, a galley down location, crew cabin, no crew cabin in 3 different engine choices. People want choice, and Fairline has delivered that.